Working with WordPress, think you might want to work with WordPress? Stick around, we're going to talk about themes. One of the fun things about WordPress is the ability to theme the thing, right? When you download WordPress, you get the core package. And it also comes with some default themes out of the box. These are the guys in the theme folder that say 2015, 2016, 2017. And those are good. Those are the default themes. But typically, most people want their own design or they want a different design, right? So in order to do that, you've got two options. One is you can build your own theme, either from scratch or from a boilerplate, or you can go to a place like ThemeForest and purchase a theme or download a free theme that someone else has built. And you can install that on top of WordPress, and it gives it its own look and feel and even affects the flow of the content. What I want to talk about are the pros and cons of using box themes, themes you bought somewhere, versus a theme that you created yourself. If you're just starting out, the idea of creating your own theme might be intimidating. I mean, you do need to know CSS. You're going to need to be confident with CSS. You're going to need to know a little bit of PHP, but most of what you need to do to at least create a rudimentary theme you can find on Google. So you're good. As long as you understand HTML, CSS, and maybe a little bit of JavaScript, you can build your own theme. The upside to buying a theme is that you can go down the list. If you're not a designer and you need something designed, you can go down the list with your client and they can pick out what it is that they're looking for. And when you do that, you want to try to get as close as you can, super close to what you want your site to look like and how you want it to behave. Because once you get that theme installed, modifying it, if you want to change it up, that's where things go wrong. All right. So try to find one that's just, it's right there. It's just so close to what you want to do with it. Maybe you're going to swap the logo, update the colors, but the layout, the look, the feel, it's there. Good news is that, right? The bad news is if you do want to modify it, if you can't find one that is right there, then you're going to end up modifying this theme, and sometimes that goes okay and sometimes it doesn't. These larger themes can be so complex. It can be difficult to even find where the various templates are that make the thing run, let alone modifying them and hope you're not breaking something in another view. So modifying these themes can really be a bear. Like I said, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. And unless you've worked with a particular theme a bunch, you really don't know which situation you're getting into. It's probably going to be one of those two though. The flip side is building it yourself. Now this requires more skill, but what you come out with is going to be lighter weight because it's purpose built. It's only the things you need, none of the stuff that you didn't need. You built it specifically for your needs. So that's going to give you a couple advantages. One is that the way the content types are structured is going to be very simple because it's purpose built. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've got a leadership page and you've got leaders. When leaders leave, they need to be removed from the page. When new leaders come in, they need to be added. And this is nice if the site owner can do this, right? They've got an administrative person who can log in and update that without any coding knowledge. That's huge. That's really huge. So when you're building it yourself, a large part of that is building in these custom content types using a tool like ACF. Go look that up. If you're using a box theme, it doesn't come with that. They don't know which content types you want. Maybe they've got some things built in for like galleries or functions within the site. But generally it's not going to be specific to your exact needs. And even if they do have it, it's generally more complicated because these themes often use third-party plugins like Revolution Slider, Edge, and Visual Composer. And what these do, especially Visual Composer, is they give you a way to make layouts within pages without knowing CSS or HTML, which sounds great, and it is, but it's kind of complicated. It's a tool that takes some getting used to, and an administrative person, I can tell you, is not going to feel comfortable jumping in and using Visual Composer. They're just not. If you built that tool yourself, you can make it to where it's only the options they're expecting, takes the guesswork out, all the layout and design stays intact because they're not interacting with that. They're entering that, uploading the picture from a button. They enter the title in the title field, description in the description field, hit go, and it publishes to the page. So can you add these things to a box theme? Of course you can, but there again, anytime you're modifying, adding things on top of a pre-built theme, you're opening yourself up to a little bit of drama. And some of these themes can be really difficult to build out. You know, the demos look great. They really do. They look amazing. And all the layout options you have, and some of them like Jupyter have themes within themes. So you might buy one theme, it's got 15 different looks. Very cool. But all this does add weight to the theme. That means it's going to be slower. It's going to be heavier. It's going to take more interactions with the server. And we've seen some of them are downloading 6 different JavaScript files, 8 different CSS files that are huge. I mean, 10 times what it would be if you just built it yourself and wait. So this is going to slow down the site. Some of them are optimized for performance, and those are definitely the ones I would recommend if you're going to buy a theme. Look for that. Generally speaking, they are heavier. They're heavier and they're a little bit clunkier if you have to work with them on the code side, because they're written to, you know, not have conflicts, and they're written to do a very specific job. So they've built them rather rigidly. Whereas when you're building yourself, you have some elasticity in there. If the client needs to come back and have you add a feature or something, it's, hey, no sweat. We built the thing, it's simple. We can get in there and modify things, change things, add things much more easily. That can be a huge benefit for some of you, especially if you know that this website is going to have a life of its own down the road. And if you're running huge numbers, if you've got a ton of traffic and you need stability, it's much better if you built the thing yourself and can get in there and modify. And building it yourself doesn't just mean from scratch. You can download boilerplates like Bones or Foundation Press. Those are great options that are going to have some of the nice features, like maybe they have a grunt compiler or something that takes all your style sheets, or you're using Sass and compiles them down into one nice, neat package for the production server. And it can do the same thing for JavaScript and other things. So those are great tools to have, and it's nice if someone can build those out for you that understands maybe grunt or whatever packaging system better than you do. So those are huge. Go check those out. Modifying pre-built themes, it's really not fun. I don't recommend it. Make sure you install the demos that come with those so you can see how the theme developer achieved the results that you see in the demo. Because if you think you're just going to download the theme and drop your pictures in there and go, and it's going to look just like the demo, nah, think again. You're going to be pulling your hair out at times trying to get there. So if the good ones will come with a demo, so you can install a local copy of the demo website that you saw that made you want to buy the theme in the first place. Then you can reverse engineer it to figure out how to make the elements that you liked come to life on your page. So I always recommend download the demo. It does take extra time, but it's going to be so worth it. It's going to save you so much time in the end. And speaking of time, lately we've kind of had a big push because we've done a mix of modifying box themes for clients and building custom sites with custom themes. And even though we enjoy the custom themes more, you know, making payroll is always exciting. So we want to try to figure out what is working best for our clients, what's working best for our business. So we started really tracking time to see, you know, how long were these boxed projects taking us? Because generally we were bidding these significantly lower. And what we found is it wasn't a significant difference in time. We were spending really large amounts of time fleshing out these boxing. Now that may have had something to do with the clientele level, but I would contend that it also had a lot to do with just the time it takes to build out themes or to do modifications if you do, which we generally do. It's rare we let one go to press that we haven't chopped up to some degree or added some functionality. So all right, I'll leave you with that. Make the right decision, experiment, maybe try making your own theme, give it a whirl. What's the worst that could happen, right? All right, stay good. Later, guys.